Facepalm America. I'm Beowulf Rockland. FacepalmAmerica.com is where you can go for more information about the show, to listen to past episodes, and to connect with us on social media. Well, I mentioned it a couple of days ago on the podcast, and it's something that I think we all knew. And it's something that is fantastic that there is now extensive evidence of. Specifically, Donald Trump's corruption with regard to foreign influence. There is a report out called White House for Sale saying that Trump made over $6 million from China and Saudi Arabia while in office. Now, you have to understand that this is at the same time that the Republicans and Jim Jordan and James Comey are out there running around and saying Joe Biden made all this money because Hunter Biden did this and Hunter Biden did that. And they don't have a lick of proof that there's any connection between the two of those things. They don't. And now, the Democrats not only have evidence, but they have a 156-page report specifically about not how Donald Trump's family made money, but how Donald Trump, through his corporation, made money not when he was not president, but when he was president. Because all the accusations about Joe Biden are from when he was vice president. And this is when Trump was actually in office. And I told you that I was going to read the entire report. And I'm going to start that process right now. And so if you don't have time to go through the 156 pages of the report, that's okay. I'm going to do it for you. Let me just give you a summary. Donald Trump's businesses raked in at least $7.8 million. That's interesting because the headline here says $6 million. So it's even more. $7.8 million from 20 foreign governments throughout his presidency. New documents released by House Democrats show. The overseas transactions outlined in a 156-page report called White House for Sale, aptly named, produced by House Oversight Committee Democrats, provide hard evidence of the former president's engagement in the kind of conduct House Republicans accuse Joe Biden of as they attempt to build an impeachment case against him, despite their probe of his alleged dealings failing to yield any evidence. Exactly. Thank you. The report details how foreign governments and their controlled entities, including a top U.S. adversary, patronized Trump's businesses while he was in office. They shelled out millions to the now defunct Trump International Hotel in Washington, D.C., the Trump International Hotel in Las Vegas, Trump Tower on Fifth Avenue in New York City, and Trump World Tower at 845 United Nations Plaza in New York. So, I'm going to go through this for you. I'm going to read the whole thing. Because in addition to being detailed and footnoted, I won't read you all the individual footnotes. You can find those elsewhere. If you go to oversightdemocrats.house.gov, that's where you can find all of this and all of the citations, the footnotes, etc. But if you don't have time to do all of that, all you have to do is sit back, relax, and listen while I read. After this short break, we'll be back. This is Facepalm America. I'm Beowulf Rockland. FacepalmAmerica.com. Okay, let's begin the reading of White House for Sale. How princes, prime ministers, and premiers paid off President Trump. It's a staff report from the Committee on Oversight and Accountability, Democratic staff, Representative Jamie Raskin, Ranking Member, U.S. House of Representatives, January 4th, 2024. Dedicated to the late Congressman Elijah E. Cummings, Chairman of the House Committee on Oversight and Reform. The memory of the righteous is a blessing. Forward. Congressman Jamie Raskin, Ranking Member, House Committee on Oversight and Accountability. Many reports get published in Congress every year and sink into oblivion, but this one is unlikely to disappear. The findings and conclusions presented by the House Committee on Oversight and Accountability's Democratic staff are astounding, and they demand urgent action by the Congress and by the American people. Drawing from actual receipts and records using the most conservative possible accounting methodologies, White House for Sale, How Princes, Prime Ministers, and Premiers Paid Off President Trump documents how, as president, Donald Trump accepted more than $7.8 million in payments from foreign states, their leaders, including some of the world's most unsavory regimes. By elevating his personal financial interests and the policy priorities of corrupt foreign powers over the American public interest, former President Trump violated both the clear commands of the Constitution and the careful precedents set and observed by every previous commander-in-chief. Article 1, Section 9, Clause 8 of the Constitution forbids the President to accept any money, payment, or gifts of any kind, whatever, from foreign governments and monarchs unless he obtains, quote, the consent of the Congress, unquote, to do so. Yet Donald Trump, while holding the office of president, used his business entities to pocket millions of dollars from foreign states and royalty, and never once went to Congress to seek its consent. This report sets forth the records showing foreign government money and all the spoils from royals we can find, pouring into hotels and buildings that the president continued to own during his presidency, all in direct violation of the constitutional prohibition. To be sure, we know about only some of the payments that passed into former President Trump's hands during just 2 years of his presidency from just 20 of the more than 190 nations in the world through just 4 of his more than 500 businesses. Despite the Constitution's requirement that a president disclose foreign emoluments and seek Congress's consent to keep them, it took Oversight Committee Democrats years of aggressive litigation against the former president to obtain the subset of documents from Mazars, Donald Trump's accounting firm, that form the factual basis of this report. And then, in January 2023, Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer made the abrupt and outrageous decision to release Mazars from having to continue complying with the committee's subpoena and court-supervised settlement agreement. Despite Chairman Comer's decision to bury further evidence, however, even this small slice of a picture of unknown proportions allows America to glimpse the rampant illegality and corruption of the Trump presidency. It is true that $7.8 million is almost certainly only a fraction of Trump's harvest of unlawful foreign state money, but this figure in itself is a scandal and a decisive spur to action. The report's detailed findings make it clear that we don't have laws in place to deal with a president who is willing to brazenly convert the presidency into a business for self-enrichment and wealth maximization, with the collusive participation of foreign states. No other president had ever come close before to trying a ripoff like this simply based on vacuuming up foreign money, which was the cardinal presidential offense and betrayal in the eyes of the founders. An offense and betrayal made all the more striking here by the offender's repeated laughable proclamations of America first. This report forces us to confront fundamental questions that the founders faced in designing American institutions. What kind of government will we have? Will it be devoted to the common good of all the people, and will it actually put the interests of the people first? Or will it just be a structured opportunity for private gain and self-enrichment for schemers who excel at self-promotion and sneer at the rule of law? In answering these questions, we have one decisive advantage over the founders. We have the founders' own handiwork in the Constitution, which gives us precisely the principles we need to fortify democratic self-government and reject the practice of political leaders selling America out to foreign powers. In the face of these stunning findings and conclusions, Oversight Committee Democrats are prepared to act in defense of the Constitution. We will develop a package of proposed legislative reforms to ensure that all occupants of the Oval Office abide by the Constitution's unequivocal language commanding loyalty to the interests of the American people, not the interests of homicidal Saudi monarchs, totalitarian Chinese bureaucratic state capitalists, or other foreign actors looking to obtain policy favors and indulgences by paying off a president or his wholly owned businesses. Supporting and defending our Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic, is our sworn commitment in Congress. But the defense of democracy is the work of a nation, and we hope that all the American people will participate in it. Jamie Raskin, Ranking Member, House Committee on Oversight and Ability. And when we come back, we'll bring you the executive summary of this 156-page report. I'm Beowulf Rockland. This is Facepalm America. We shall return. Facepalm America. Let's continue with the report White House for Sale from the Committee on Oversight and Accountability Democratic staff. Executive summary. Quote, "No title of nobility shall be granted by the United States, and no person holding any office of profit or trust under them shall, without the consent of Congress, accept any present, emolument, office, or title of any kind whatever from any king, prince, or foreign state." Constitution of the United States, Article 1, Section 9, Clause 8. This report sets forth the results of a multi-year investigation into former President Trump's receipt of payments from foreign governments and foreign state-owned or state-controlled entities while in office. This systematic collection of foreign money was in direct violation of the explicit prohibition against such emoluments in the United States Constitution's Foreign Emoluments Clause. The committee's investigation began under the leadership of then-ranking member Elijah E. Cummings in 2016, the year when President-elect Trump was poised to bring with him into the office of President of the United States a sprawling and debt-laden corporate empire of more than 500 businesses operating in at least 25 different countries, and yet refused to divest himself of these corporate assets and properties. Instead, he declared himself still open for business to all comers, including princes, prime ministers, premiers, and foreign governments who became his active, albeit constitutionally forbidden, financial patrons. In layman's terms, an emolument is broadly defined as an, quote, advantage, profit, or gain received as a result of one's employment or one's holding of office, unquote, financial or otherwise, received either directly or indirectly. Shrouded in complexity and secrecy, President Trump's global corporate empire proved to be a magnet for emoluments from foreign governments